expectations. Maybe we heard one thing or anticipated something else, but the person
on, so like, yeah.
By now, you might want to go ahead and skip forward about 45 seconds because otherwise we're about to mess up your day. But we do know you probably...
Aside from all these honorable mentions, the list as well.
Well, I feel like Michael Bay has really helped redefine that, though.
Are you decent?
They created...
Thanks for this request.
Yeah, thank you, Cinefix. And thank you for watching. Guys, you can subscribe. When we talk, that film enthusiasm really shines through. The fact that you love Cinefix, you got us experience other than whoever played him.
Not only do we see his hands, his feet, his hat, and his whip, all before we're given the routine, everything but their face. It's a small moment of
intro.
soul. This is Jack Sparrow, a proud pirate atop a sinking mast,
Pointed out, or I noticed it. I can't remember if it was the book that pointed out or if I just noticed it. There's this movie.
Yeah, that's a good example of that.
For their one category, the Save the Cat category, which is the most. If you got
the distance and you can see the horse's feet hitting that weird.
Yeah.
You know, which is another nice thing. And yeah.
Its own suspense, building its own anticipation.
Talking now, like when we first started. If you haven't seen that,
why that was the first scene that came to mind.
Their pick is one of the best YouTube channels of all time. It's not fair how men are treated with variation of freedom. Not that it's like confusing, but you're also trying to really understand what the rule
is in those movies, like, you know, totally
fun to like talk about the movies that they said or like what I might have dated.
I'm not an expert per se, but I accept it.
Before you see the face reveal to properly introduce them.
Little lifestyle.
That is a good choice.
Yeah.
Famous. Holly eating her titular breakfast.
No,
That's
I've
how we
seen
should
a lot
introduce all our reactions.
Yeah.
Yes. Why?
And today comes from Andrew A. Dennison.
For his gun and is brought down in a single shot. And then, more quiet, Ali slows.
I need another 1,000.
Oh, you idiots, you forgot this movie. And then an example of that kind of intro.
Yeah. Come with me if you want to live, you know?
Like a madman while slapping the hood of the car.
Put it in this category instead. But here, like,
Cinefix movie list.
Why they're choosing this one, you're like, yeah, it's kind of hard to argue with that.
Yeah.
7 is 90.
Alfred Molina.
He wouldn't be far off base. With so much time dedicated to rumors of his notoriety, how the act he meets surprises us all together.
Is this where the song comes from?
It almost makes
And he's like the suited up
with
one.
the soldiers. Yeah.
Actual man possibly live up.
Because that is a cool trope to do, where you like build up a character to see if they live to the number one category. That's a good choice. It's a good category.
Yeah, it's Peter Lorre.
He has the thing.
Oh no! The trailer, but that build up they have to finally seeing Willy Wonka with Amelia Clark and probably not going to be on the plot.
You got to pick apart the car.
Yeah, they're getting ready in their club. Both of them, they're not only. It basically implies that the character does something to make them instantly like. Yeah. First, I was really fascinated by
5 minutes into its 120-minute.
They put here, and Lawrence
noticed this type of attribute with a villainous character, or any kind of character, like when.
Man.
Yeah. I don't feel like my favorite filmmakers like react to each other's videos. That's what was a weird way of communicating with each other. Intro. I'm not sure if it entirely fits into this category, and if you guys have made it this far.
Ninja on the crest. He shows up 80% of the way through, and we never see him coming.
Different, succinct approach to every.
Know what it is. There's a famous.
Let's count all the things we learned about him and all about himself. He's a glutton.
One is a pretty gripping intro for arguably the most memorable character in that whole movie.
Or
Limp. You know, with the combination of the narrative.
Early Save the Cat.
Example of the now pervasive tradition.
Definitely, yeah.
Every time Megan Fox showed up on screen and transformed.
Face. Maybe it's some half and half. All of these films manage Kevin Spacey. Who do you think's going to be Kevin Spacey? Doesn't take a detective, but full of women in classic cinema. Massive buffoon, combining almost two hilarious bevy of hand props with a, let's say,
We do something with film, dude, because clearly you are. It's like he's
rendering the
flying.
wide expanse of the
Jai Courtney.
Even Jai Courtney.
The Terminator.
And one of the most classic, what we like to call the
Such a huge film buff, and I hope that down the road you can make it out to LA and maybe
shouldn't with as well.
That's
Closing in at number 2, we have the long-awaited.
you're like, oh shit, the main cool guy that we saw in the trailer or girl is now all damaged.
You'd lose count trying to keep track of how many, like, ooh.
Sometimes we'll talk about Watch Mojo, and they pointed out, like, oh, that's pretty cool, you know?
Definitely see. The thing is, like,
Honorable mention examples here that are very reminiscent.
did with Tuco.
Ooh.
of Arabia. Hey, that's a movie I gotta see. But
Side note, I think Cinefix,
That's what?
Will Smith in Suicide Squad, when he's on that punching that bag, this video first.
It so perfectly exemplifies their essence that in that instant,
That's
you
such
know
a
them down. So what do you think? Do you disagree with some of our picks? Could we leave out any of your favorite entries?
Great.
While female stars are introduced like this.
This is like a perfect example, and it kind of combines with the first one. So bringing the list full circle.
Seems like, how the hell he's not
Frail.
charismatic.
Never
This
forget
sequence
that.
is pure genius.
And then they go with a billion Marvel characters.
Oh yes, all the Marvel,
Tony's-
the specific intro. Yeah.
Is never talked about, but for me, it's the opening of Kill Bill Volume 1.
Or Fast and the Furious 1.
What happens there?
He like spins.
Wells in Third Man, which I remember watching.
Who occupied lots of varied roles, but even they are often pigeonholed from Amadeus or Bela Lugosi from Ed Wood. But today, our number 1 goes to no other.
Oh, it's weird watching this now.
Happens anywhere else better than here.
I'm like, wow, one shot. That's go
On the movie floor.
Rope. Then he eventually runs away. I feel like they gave like,
Oberhausen was
hey, they
expected
shouted him
Superman
out.
and Colonel Kurtz and definitely Hannibal Lecter. However, if you
A cat.
Come on out.
this sense of it's usually reserved for the big bad and a big reveal that
Good choice.
He improvised this moment. Yeah.
Seriously speaking, they have
That is
Yeah.
this category actually kind of made me think of the original Spider-Man for some reason.
this time trying to rack my brain for one right now. But
Oh yeah, every one of these is
so
like
that long shot, and I'm like, well, like trying to rack my brain to think of other movies is kind of hard for me.
than the thing in itself. This is Bill from Kill Bill. Oh, first of all, it's Orson.
classical piece in the Hall of the Mountain King.
Effect. This is Inspector Clouseau from Pink Panther or Mozart.
More parrot than that. It's so common, and for some reason, I'm not a hard.
It's so jarring to see. That's a great shot.
And the one that they credited to Harry Lime more so.
Objects from Seven Samurai.
A good example.
I read the book, and I think they pointed.
Building him up so much as this like titan of children's literature, and then they do one of those intro by.
Wells at his most mischievous. And that fact. The problem is that in movies, women
Don't do that, man.
although we have
History, and that's something that you can even still see.
Call it as a metaphor. Save the cat. I didn't realize Hellboy. I don't think.
introductions, let us know in the comments below. Come check out our bi-weekly movie list talkback on Facebook Live.
Usually when they do their list, I rarely am here going, what?
If you were to accuse our list maker of having a hard-on for Harry Lime,
Q&As as well as TV show reactions for many a shows.
By that moment, and so like while it is marked, optical illusion where it just
I'll get that.
doing
all
that
the
roof
whole
hit.
squad gets that. Yeah. I was gonna say Jason's section of our biopic,
spectatorship
yeah.
theory.
This judge says yay.
or if it's you really want to go hard.
I've seen every movie in existence. We're with Roger Ebert in thinking that this might just be the original.
In Ed Wood. that was my first.
D'Onofrio.
That was D'Onofrio. Yeah. In Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, because in the beginning of that.
Let us be vulnerable and attractive.
Which speaks significantly to the
Instead of arresting, he just flashes his badge. He gets the hint to run away because he.
Trench.
Nay.
We also watch these small
Almost caught up. And John Doe's music video coverage, but one of our top Stacy for John Doe in 7, because I mean, I feel like a good movie. Yeah. He was always in a suit. Q&A's loved harkens back to many a thing in that intro. And I like marketing of what you saw, and then you start the movie. I only do it if I don't get top. Like, why would you get top billing?
Whoever's on the phone with you, just like
Indiana Jones is a really cool setup in terms of like, who is this guy?
is meant to want to be them, while women are objects of, well, being objects. The audience
You can tell me if I'm completely wrong.
Will Smith and Suicide.
from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Tech Nation, it's Greg Alba here.
And I'm Johnald.
Words about their characters and distill them into
Just like his walk and everything. He's not coming from the shadows.
Once he arrived.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Gotham just finished season 1. Riverdale and
runtime with detectives Pitt and Freeman in it.
oh, never
damn.
seen this one.
I saw this in the theater a couple of years ago.
Holy
No,
shit,
for real,
yeah.
with a different voice.
Luke grinning at his beheaded meters, Alex sipping his
Are. I kind of think of
can't get any more unbearable. His Bedouin guide lunch
So what kind of intro?
Yeah.
And, you know, all the different approaches. And I was sitting here going, oh, yeah.
and god damn does it work.
Ooh.
As claustrophobic as a coffin, Lean's iconic cinematography has him emerging as Fremont in Rear Window, rumored and pursued and sought,
Gatsby.
who is by now more myth.
a few classic films.
John Doe from Seven.
Ooh.
Together with the, like, here's the common intro for a male protagonist. And then you cut and it's just Peter outside the bus, like, slapping the
Dark when he's in the RV and he's drinking Cinefix so much, especially the way they break down their list. I feel like they have a really unique in terms of like how they did with Willy Wonka. That's not based off expectation. Damn good. It makers really feel like they might accidentally.
Lean, the cut to her mother. Ugh, what a film. What an entrance. What an introduction.
Who loves Cinefix like a mo. This example was Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, which I learned. Then I don't remember the time if Kevin Spacey was into it until that very shot. And that was my first Orson Welles experience.
Best intro.
10 best character introductions of all.
Circle. But I was reminded of the movie Elf when they're introducing Peter Dinklage's character because they're building.
Tension for the last year.
Cheat?
First impression, and that goes extra for movie. How we need a character can define him. If you haven't seen Seven,
Way because you're peering into a bunch of different movies and how they all used the intro, but also
but he's introduced
What are you
My
doing?
girlfriend showed me this movie.
of that really tight, you know, thick depth of field or whatever. But it's hard to think, of every rank, but also every rank gets an honorable mention or 3. Looks like Sky,
Yeah.
and it's
introduction by parts. You see their hands, their feet, their clothes, their more all larger-than-life characters starting small in the frame and then walking towards us, filling it with.
You guys don't know what Save the Cat is. If you're a Cinefix fan, you probably. It all the way from the.
If they didn't give him top billing. Of course, it's not always.
for female protagonists and how they very much
Yeah.
differ throughout, you know, cinema, more movies. I feel like Watch Mojo's list are
Yeah.
I have every movie to choose.
Movie with Al Pacino called Sea of Love. And at the beginning of the movie, he's undercover and then he busts.
Where the character's very approach to the screen fills us with apprehension. It's not a
Side and you're like,
Yeah. God. Javier Bardem. Skyfall. Like that.
and legend in our mind than a face, a symbol of something rather
really appreciated this list both for that, for having, you know, like a
good, bad, and ugly freeze frame music combat Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern after
that's a good one. And yeah, the number 1 slot, you know, with Willy Wonka and the sort of misleading intro.
space that gives us more boundless, unending glee. Combine it with the lighting cue, the music.
Oh, this is a
And has this sense of immediacy that I really do appreciate.
Cat got your tongue?
I'm gonna save that.
Subscribe to the Reject Nation, click that notification bell, and check us out on Patreon, TV Show React.
Test Victory is another great example of this, as is Daniel Plainview's oil prospecting vignette. However,
Text right away and see what it says about each character. And the
Yeah, like
flourishes,
Cat-In
yeah.
or American Psycho. For me, it would definitely have to be bad. Thanks for being a part of our Patreon page, man.
And then
parts of him tell us
Terminator Genesis.
Can't believe you.
The introductions that I think Tarantino has become so good at. Like, I brought up Kill Bill Volume 1, that category of like the shit.
oh yeah,
What's he?
one Kevin Spacey is worth a Brad Pitt and Morgan.
It's about to go down kind of intro. I'm not entirely sure if friends of how we would.
in 95 minutes in, you haven't seen.
But it's one of my favorites.
Stuff. And then he comes in the boardroom and you realize he's a little person.
Yeah.
Parts where it's like he's
This is my
He shows up as a shadow over a
And he comes out limping. He's just a regular looking dude, and he's
Kevin fucking Spacey. You go to the movies, the poster says Brad Pitt, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Kevin Spacey.
That just, I felt so much hotter just watching it.
Tony's pretty damn good at these types of intros. Marion Ravenwood's drinking contest.
That's the thing, is you look at makes it more than
yeah. I think with something like Kill Bill, it's not really the build up to the intro, but you factor in the. Oh, neat.
Yeah. It's a great
the camera move and the classic third man can't, and somehow Orson Welles makes the rumors.
By the fact that Kevin Spacey was like, oh,
The vilest, evilest spirit.
yeah.
You can just include so many bad news.
And the close up on the glutes and stuff.
Examples of this kind of reveal is what
No, I mean, it's actually a really good example right there.
Yeah.
it's about the immediate.
It's pretty
theme.
cool.
Sometimes characters spring fully.
Well, yeah, I mean, Andrew A. Dennison, thank you so much for recommending. It's pretty late into the film. Also, Supernatural. Just finished episode 12 of season 1. We're really over.
Vader and Tim Burton's Joker. However, scary reveal as much as it's a long, slow entrance. It gets worse and
She's a badass Sarah Connor type.
And it homages and
reveal the character whose reputation precedes him, who has been talked about in
that includes Attack on Titan. Just finished season 2. My
And work at Amoeba.
yeah, dude. Just wait.
We're dividing it down gender lines so we can see.
When you
Damn.
wow stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And then when completely new. And you've got the makings of a legend.
Ofo. Let's watch this.
Never done the slow axial approach. Holoco Plus, and the dude sampling beyond. Bond is shown in over the shoulders, while Lisa is shown.
Bad and the Ugly. In terms.
Then, when it feels like it.
Yeah.
What they could put here and why. Because I love Cinefix is I learn often, and I've never really known, and that was the first one she started me off with. And watching that movie, I wasn't fully in
Montage striptease of details towards the money shot that is our hero's mug.
and especially works with the characters and is an anti. Yeah.
The pleasure of
They've already justified it for you.
Yeah, they've already done such a good breakdown for Tuco and
the Joker from The Dark Knight, Dr. Strangelove from, well, Dr. Strangelove. And our number 9 pick,
a hero of sorts,
Yeah.
you know.
Because it indicates they've got a code. And here's a common intro.
Level
your
and build
mood.
up. Yeah. Have a moment where you're establishing one character. You're establishing.
but to give the spot to Sharif Ali from Lawrence of Arabia.
More than just a list. It's almost kind of like a film school and what's going to get clarified away for you in a couple minutes.
Yeah,
time.
I know they don't have any category.
There are a lot of ways to introduce characters, aren't there?
I also like the
Hats off to Gene Wilder, because every time I...
and you know, conducting business and in charge of a bunch of that movie. My girlfriend has shown me all time.
Oh, man.
You see, over at our Patreon, we do week.
Oscar
Yes.
Schindler.
Like, he really had, like, the perfect somersault timing. But yeah, I don't know.
So much more popular than Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. Like, oh, this cop brought down the fun, but look at him. He's a good guy. See those like two intros. I like when you
Only then speaks.
He's dead.
There's so much build up, and even
and it's
with,
moving so fast, and it's not really. It's like this doesn't.
That's the story. All week, surprising ways that grab us by the collar and growl at us.
it does. It makes it.
Method of entry and button up with the iconic.
You know, makes you cringing even from like Chris Tucker in Fifth Element. For me, I would probably go with.
And it works perfect. Kambe is a badass for the ages, and it takes us all. Stars are introduced like this.
But and he's like really charming and funny, but you can tell he's just hustling the group. That is creepy.
That's a good candid
Of a scene.
Yeah.
There's already damage that's occurred,
Yeah.
so you're not only being.
Admiration and capability, the audience.
Yeah, they all.
I think that's a class.
That is a great intro. Well, Thanks, Cinefix. That is a great list. The reason I love
and his moral character. It combines cunning, compassion, sacrifice, and
open up a scene in the middle, the Real Rejects for so many years that I'm surprised we're only now to appreciate a hell of a lot.
Well, and I appreciated too the way they handled the 5 and 6.
So he became invested. That is the Leonardo.
to 2 slots because the same with the man with no name. It turns out Sergio Leone.
This one applies either, because that's the fun thing about Cinefix. They're such a film school that you're also trying to complete. They do the honorable mentions. You're like, yeah, those are the best honorable mentions for that category.
Yeah.
Too. It's even better now. Uma Thurman, Kill Bill. One of my favorites.
Mr.
2 minutes to know it. Our next 2 slots go to those iconic.
Before it closes. Yeah.
Before they moved to mostly like cultural relevance, and that's sort of the main
Yeah.
driving criteria.
When they started, when he just shows up in the police station, covered in blood, and it's into the story with a wink and a grin and all the charm and charisma
That
in
is
the world.
examples, what they mean by this category, and then by dissecting that and analyzing it.
Of the action hero, starting off the story with an unrelated
Very slowly making our way into frame, and then by the 3-minute mark,
monologuing
we're
away.
here.
Kurosawa for inspiration.
Ah.
Kambe's is a brief
Moment. Intro.
Yeah, there's one. I remember this introduction. Oh wait, sure. And then when we sit down, we just hop into the reaction.
Spacebar.
gettable entrance that's
Hero Academia. Without communicating. Yeah. This guy is.
come on, who does this better than Fritz Lang with his murder?
Yeah.
Or yeah, like the track up on,
Like the apocalypse in the beginning of the film, but then when he shows up, you're like, damn. So, what's going on? Who is he? When I think of like the opening of John Wick or the
strolling in, it's like the back of his head, and people are all turning their heads and
The use of men as objects of cool, or the use of women as objects of romance. It has like a bad Christian Bale Batman impression. Think Quint from Jaws, or Ruby Rod from The Fifth Element.
of that, but the one that came to mind for me.
Falling in love. Now, we're not condemning the indirect POVs. James Bond is effortlessly cool, while Lisa has us fall. We're going with Kambe, humbly cutting off his top notch, strong character by showing your hero save the cat.
Boom! Only thing that made this movie like work, and where I actually introduced to this character at a weak moment, but you're also being thrown into the plot. Oh yeah.
Formed into the narrative in abrupt and surprising ways that grab
Have you become a Patronject today?
but yeah.
Okay. But yeah.
a drunk, a wanted man, armed, creative, and he
Different examples of
from a mirage, shimmering in the heat of the distance and creeping closer for what seems like ages. And
they were talking about Lawrence of Arabia with Ali, or
Email like whip up into frames. There are.
Spacey basically gave the studio an ultimatum. Told them he'd only do it
because I never noticed that that's a thing that some films do.
Yeah, totally different, and also
A screenwriting book, I've mentioned it a few times here because so many movies copy it.
in Willy Wonka. In order to pose as a peasant to rescue a young boy, the first example of these kinds of introductions belong to James Bond and Dr. No and Lisa.
it's like the movie has a moment of clarity that second he turns around with the glass.
Yeah.
Men hold weapons, tools, guns, while women wear towels. And we think that
That's a good shot.
of his spaghetti western, seeing as how he drew so much on star moments where a character bounds.
Hell, man, what
Every
gives?
woman-
Cool way to also tie in just like a cultural context to.
Why would he get
Next
Top
up, number
Gun?
8, sometimes characters
Yeah.
introduced in a singular moment. A singular image.
Cool. Oh, that is cool. Hype when you finally reveal who they are. One that I think is
But that is the magic of cinema. Sometimes the man on the screen can be larger than life. And I don't think I'd no better time to reminisce about our hellos as when we say.
when he showed up, I was like, for some reason, instantly. So we should do the introduction.
And you're just like your whole expectations completely rearranged.
It's a gang of people doing illegal gambling. He has his kid with him, and
He's still an honorable mention on our list. The same with Harmonica, the same with Angel.
that was the intro. I don't remember the first Hellboy. If he lit two. One's
Both of Batman's nipples.
both. Yeah.
Privilege, nay, natural, normal.
Anti-hero character. Usually within the setup of the movie, you gotta have
This guy can't possibly be a famous chocolate tear. Look at that.
Patient towards the moment we meet our hero.
mentally do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes movies are
Freeman set together.
Say what?
heroes. Perhaps even the first saving of a cat. It's also probably where Leone got the idea.
Reward tiers. Whatever video you request, we must definitely do him in cinema. And the second...
See, the thing is, like, I know that I've seen a lot of very notable long shots that make use.
So here's to Mr. Wilder and all the entrances he ever made. Thanks.
Which one?
The song we're hearing.
They're so proud right now.
Like that here. I wonder what... I'm curious as to know what the team at Cinefix would choose.
You know, split together.
You know?
Other characters are introduced not with an image, but with an action. It's like the almost now cliche.
Having this be...
Yeah, that was my first introduction to...
That's a good...
Rick Blaine sitting...
Soviet trench.
Trench. Right.
Why this one? Because they've done erase so many questions. Talking, he was mentioning how he was
Oddly enough, I don't know if this
hooked. It was amazing. I feel like a very under.
that is, it looks small. And finally, notice, but they tell the whole, all the while giving us a front seat tour of all the important details that make our character who they are.
Now look at
Harry.
who's your boss?
That's why you have to save the cat.
10 best character introductions of all. Wanted poster for himself. We didn't see him.
cars she fixes.
Oh boy, literally saved a cat.
I know, Blake Snyder.
He's, you know, selling jewelry on the street about defying expectations.
Your strong male protagonist or whatever, and I thought that was like a cool.
When we're looking at the introduction that comes with
That's him right there.
If it
And
had
it lives
been-
up to the hype.
If it had been that better movie, they would have runs out and goes, shit. And that's the first time you see Paul Walker.
Is that what you thought about it? Yeah.
Because
Harry Line from
The third man.
What kind of a spy
That
do you
is
think
a
you are,
bitchin'
Special
intro.
here, but for our money, we've never seen a into the uber masculine, uber suave action.
Yeah, what the? They were talking about with their first category with people getting ready, looking at their clothes, their items.
Your shadow comes up across
the
my face.
While we look, Lisa, in
Kalamazoo is what he says right here. And this guy's been watching.
we feel about them through the entire film. So, to a picture. But we think none better than the good, the bad, and the other.
Comes out limping, yeah. That's cool. The thing with Cinefix here, it's like...
With its own setup. See how kind of fucked up the difference is. See if you can spot the pattern. Now, we're breaking down
That's
all
true.
the different ways.
And I really like their pick for Kevin Spacey. Unexpected. That's where the... Aloha region. Wow, I make that right away made me want to watch it.
googly, you know, female.
Dismounts, and every episode where we answer your questions and respond to your comments. And be sure to subscribe for more.
Yeah,
what the hell is happening right here? It calls you what this number is going to consist of, and then they show several. One,
See that pratfall? I always think he's gonna hit his face.
Foray that speaks to both his capability
or broad is good.
his kind, capable, active, and
whoa!
heroic all-
Used for an introduction of that Cal movie. That's a great opening. Also, Johnny Depp and Morgan Statham and the Meg. You know,
Or insistent upon it or something.
Rose-tinted nostalgia glasses talking.
it's especially if you have an ad.
Worse the closer we get. Think Henry V, Silva from Skyfall, and the original Dracula. They're all
Showing off her skills and prowess as an auto mechanic, you know, and nothing else besides that.
Too, huh?
various way possible. The bouncing ball, the dialogue,
Well,
Being on the
obvious.
spot.
Yeah.
It's like they're every move.
and not much closer to their serial killer than
This kind of moment for the now.
Yeah.
Genesis. Now that is about to go down.
And one of the other reasons
between a cigarette, a drink, a checkbook, and a chess set. It's Bronson telling the camera he always wanted to be
we understand sometimes with
a reversal of
Oh, great, like opening right here.
doesn't want to arrest him in front of his kid. So we're gonna watch today from Cinefix.
happens in the world all the time. Both of these are natural, normal things. They're just not the only.
They're talking about like those abrupt intros, you know.
Yeah.
You know us, you already know who we're gonna pick.
Who's from? How do I pick?
You know?
Totally. This list, I feel like kind of safeguards you from just the argument overall of like.
You're looking for me.
Oh, dude, yeah, these are some great ones. Oh, the producers.
their stature. Of course, no one's ever
Unique way of doing it. I love that they always explain what their category is.
are almost exclusively objects of romance, while men get
You know what, Kevin? I think we might be able to make Pete. It's not one of the best of all time, but the Doomhead intro from 31.
Of the first Terminator with Arnold.
Oh, there you go.
He's not the very beginning because you got some of. But then when he
shows
shows up, you're like, that's it. That's Gatsby. Yeah.
Is he a bad man, a good man, a righteous man, an enemy? That we don't know. However, for our number 7 tale, building up the suspense for our mystery hero before he's revealed.
Changes,
Yeah.
I think that's
Immediately says, shit's about to go down. Big sexy beasts done Logan. A New Hope started.
Because that's 100% what came to mind.
Yeah.
And I wish they referenced it because that's, to me,
And even sort of The Strangers on a Train. However, for our first pick, we've got to go with the one and only
but for me, that is Kill Bill Volume 1. They were talking
See are the little details.
this guy.
man.
Andrew is a guy who lives in somewhere in Michigan.
Great That's right.
Men. And
yeah.
It was really awesome.
Well, and capable. I mean, think of how many.
Guy.
Ooh, the
Haven't
best.
seen it yet.
Quintessentially classic Hollywood.
Damn.
And we're splitting this category up into 1,000. There is perhaps
True.
awesome man, kind of unforgettable
It's great. It's a great intro.
violence to quickly teach us about and make us like it.
That is a good pick.
Good intro.
And then the supporting character is George Clooney.
George Clooney.
Yeah.
It's all about.
And Jesus from the Big Lebowski, Pat, Patrick Bateman.
We had the days when Tyrone and I, like, before we ever became, like, actual DiCaprio and the Great Gatsby.
That is exactly what I thought about.
Better than David Lee, which is why we
Oh,
really have
Lord.
no choice.
Much smaller place and don't need that many
Yeah.
employees.
But, dude, thank you so much. Thank you, be a film buff.
Yeah,
So, man.
Come out here.
Detective.
That would work for you.
Where are
I'll
you?
talk to somebody. I don't know.
It's even that much more popular.
To today.
You only get one for all the iconic character introductions that color the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
raises it, yeah.
It is like the perfect translation of.
Batman and Robin. When they're
Hey there, if you ever get bored of watching people sat in silence, maybe you should come and check out the We Know Nothing podcast where we talk too much. If you want to listen to two drunk best friends talking about current events, opinions, and embarrassing stories, be sure to check us out.